So, just for the record, just want to confirm again that you are okay with us recording and storing your audio and video for this interview.
I'm okay with that.
Cool. And if you wish to not answer any of these questions, it's not going to affect your inclusion in the archives. Our goal is just to gather information on your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors during the pandemic. So just try to consider that.
Sure.
So can you state your first name, your age, and your profession, like where you're working and what you're doing?
My name's Eric. I'm 19 years old and I work at Market Basket as a bagger.
Awesome. So, can you describe what your typical day might look like before the pandemic started? Like, you go into work, you just talk to people, you bag the groceries. What was it like?
It was pretty normal. We just, I would just bag people's groceries like normal. We didn't have to do any of these extra precautions that we have to do now.
Yeah, and what were the customers like? Were they always very friendly, cordial? They talked to you a lot?
Some of them were, some of them still were pretty bitter. But for the most part, a lot of people were okay.
So now that the pandemic
At
has,
the time, oh, yeah,
oh, yeah, you can go, Cooper. Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay.
All right. So like at the time before the pandemic, was there like any concern for like your health as far as like staying like clean and everything like that?
Um, yeah, we still cleaned a lot of the stuff in the store and like cleaned all the registers, but we didn't do it as thoroughly as we do now.
So now that the pandemic is happening and all this, and you have to take these precautions that for social distancing reasons, how do you interact with the customers now? What are their behaviors and attitudes towards you as a grocery store worker?
Lately, most customers have been pretty grateful that we come into work during this pandemic, and because they know that a lot of the people working at the grocery stores right now are working like 7 days a week and over like 45 hours a week. So I think they kind of understand that, and they're kind about it.
Do you
Uh,
notice a lot of maybe anxiety or stress in
yeah,
people that
there's
come in
there's
now?
definitely some people that are on edge about it, and maybe a little too worried. Um,
Is it making your job like any harder or easier because people are being more friendly or anything to you?
I think it makes it easier. It's definitely nice having people be nice to you. It's definitely makes it easier.
How has your attitude or behavior changed when you go into work? Are you like at all worried for interacting with these people, maybe catching something from them?
Yeah, I definitely try to keep my distance from everyone, and I always wear a mask and gloves just to be safe and make sure I try not to get it. Personally, I'm not worried about getting it, but I'm worried about giving it to other people around me in my home.
Yeah. How easy or difficult is it for you to keep your distance from customers or have that barrier
It,
there?
it can be difficult at times. A lot of customers just sometimes just walk up to you, like, and get like right in your face, but it's like, gotta keep your distance.
What about
Do
your
you
co?
ever like say, or
Sorry.
sorry, do you ever like say anything to these workers? I mean, these customers that are coming in and kind of treating it like, an average day. Do you have anything to say to
Yeah,
them?
I try to tell them that serious, take it serious, because there's some customer. I had this one customer who didn't even believe that the virus was even a thing, which I couldn't understand how you could believe that, but he did. But we're just telling him that it's definitely real. You definitely have to be careful about it all. So you don't want to spread it around.
What about like your bosses? How have they changed maybe your routine as one of their employees during the pandemic?
Um, my bosses, they're taking it very very serious with what they do with the store, at least to make sure that it's safe for everyone to go there and shop and work. Um, what do you say about employees?
How about your coworkers? How have they, maybe their behaviors or attitudes changed? Are they also maybe stressed, anxious, or trying to keep their distance
Yeah,
from
there's a few that
customers?
are stressed and anxious, and they actually stopped working past few weeks. So we've actually kind of been short-staffed, which is why a lot of us have been getting ridiculous hours during the week.
How does it feel to have to work all these ridiculous hours? Are you maybe happy to have a job, or are you maybe
I'm
now
happy to be
anxious?
working a lot, but it's definitely pretty exhausting after a few weeks.
Have maybe any of your coworkers had to, maybe they gotten sick or something, had to go home? Have you experienced any of that?
None of my coworkers personally have experienced it. Um, Not that I know of, at least. But I heard of other grocery stores, like in Salem. I guess there was some cashier that got it and passed away from it. So there's definitely some concern there.
So these precautions that you guys are taking, when did they start really? Like you with the gloves and the mask?
Um, Pretty much. I can't like pinpoint any day because it's like every day there's like a new precaution we're taking. 'Cause we have the gloves and the masks, but we're also doing one-way aisles, so you can only go down an aisle one way. That way, people aren't too close to each other when they're passing each other. And then in the lines, we also have tape laid out so that people know how far to stand apart in line while waiting to check out. And it just change. It's like a new thing every day.
Do you
Is
find that
there a, oh yeah, go ahead.
do you find that your customers follow these guidelines? Like maybe are they not adhering to the one way or the tape or anything sometimes?
I feel like most of the customers are following it, and we do have people that are enforcing it to make sure that they are doing it. So we have like people standing in the near the lines. So if anyone's too close, you can tell them to back up.
You were saying earlier that you might be concerned of getting other people sick, like maybe people with like an immune deficiency or the elderly. Do you feel that way towards family members or coworkers or maybe your customers?
I feel that way towards anyone. But I know that like if I got it and I had to like self quarantine, the only reason I'd be worried is just because like the people I live with getting it, because I can't really get away from them. So that's why I take the precautions so I don't get it.
Are people at work taking precautions when like dealing with certain like maybe the elderly or whatever? Uh, is there more steps for dealing with these people?
I don't think we have any extra steps for elderly people because we're doing everything we can for everyone. So we don't really have anything extra to do for elderly people. But we try to keep everything clean, carts and stuff.
Can you describe what your experience is now from the perspective of like someone shopping at a grocery store? Like, how does it feel when you go to these public places to actually be the person buying stuff?
Um, you did. I'm not sure. I'd say you definitely want to keep safe if you're going out to shop. Like, you definitely wear a mask and gloves, and make sure you're not touching your face, even with the glove on. Obviously. And,
Is there anything that you wish you were doing or knew before this all kind of broke loose?
um, no, not really. Uh, no, I don't think there's anything I wish I knew before. I guess just how bad it would be. So we could have taken like all this like cleaning and stuff. We could have done it earlier, maybe stop it sooner. But
Is there maybe anything you would like to say or pass on to people in the future for if they encounter a similar pandemic?
um, definitely take it seriously. Don't just like pass it over just because it's nothing right now, but because it can get out of hand and it can become a pretty big issue like it is right now.
Have you had any maybe concerns or problems with shortages of cleaning supplies or like toilet paper stuff in your grocery
Yeah,
store?
when it first was all happening, we were out of toilet paper for like a couple weeks. We would just have like toilet paper come in, like a few toilet paper rolls come in every day, and then they would be gone within like minutes. And a lot of our cleaning supplies were also gone. So
And how did you like observe the attitudes of the people coming in? Like obviously they were looking for toilet paper and stuff, and maybe they
yeah,
couldn't find it.
yeah, a lot of people weren't happy about it, just saying like how they couldn't find it anywhere. And but I mean, we were doing our best. We put limits on how many toilet paper rolls you could get.
Is
But
it hard dealing with the people when you tell them like limitations and stuff like that? Do people get frustrated?
some people do get very frustrated about that, especially if they're shopping for other people, because we still don't give them extra rolls if they're shopping for people. I'm not sure why, but I guess I can understand they could just lie about it. But they just weren't happy about that, or like elderly people. I had this one lady who was really angry how she couldn't take more than three because she was elderly, and she was saying that we should just respect our elders, and but we have to give some to other
Is
people
it
too.
is it hard for you to deal with these people? Like, do you feel bad at all for turning them down?
A little bad, but it has to be done. I can't just let them, you know,
How
take.
do you, how do you typically deal with these problematic customers who might be stubborn and really set on being a little selfish with supplies?
I just have to tell them that the rule's the rule. And you can't make exceptions, and that like obviously if they're gonna try to take more, they can't, and we're not gonna let them leave with more. So I mean, just being like blunt with them, I guess.
So, as far as like dealing with them, do you see that like with yourself at all? Like you want to buy more toilet paper, or you're experiencing like lacks of things,
Um,
like you
I
don't
can
have
understand
enough
why
something
they.
at your house?
Hmm?
Is there any supplies that you don't have enough of at your house that you wish you can get more of?
Um, we were running a little low on toilet paper, but we were able to pass by with what we had. But I mean, I can understand why some people wouldn't be happy about not being able to get more toilet paper. But I mean, there's so many other people that are in the same situation as them, and if they just take extra and someone else is just without any, so
Do you have like concerns for people getting kind of like large quantities of people getting angry at not being able to buy enough, say like eggs or flour, essentials like that?
do I have people getting angry about
Or do
that?
you have like concerns about like maybe future issues of people like maybe trying to rush the store and grab as much stuff as they want or anything like that?
Um, yeah, I remember the first few days when there was like a big rush. It was really busy, and our store got hit pretty good. Like we didn't have any eggs or any milk or any like meat at all. They wiped us pretty clean, and I definitely think that could be an issue again, just because we can't really predict too much when that's going to happen, so we can't put limits on stuff.
So I know with like the coming days, it's supposed to get a lot worse, and there's a lot of concern for like looting and rioting and stuff. Do you have any like concerns with that, or
Um, I don't think there's any concern for that. People have been pretty good about the whole situation for the most part. Majority of people are pretty good about what's going on and understand.
do you think that do you have any like concerns for the elderly customers that you get in, maybe with other customers, like not respecting their distance or something like that?
Yeah, I've seen a few old people that I don't even think should be coming to the store at all. And I feel like they should just have someone else shop for them. But I try to make sure people are always 6 feet apart. When I see they aren't, I'll try to let them know. But I don't even think that elderly people should be going shopping at this point. They should try to have someone else do it for them if they can.
It's
Does
like not everyone has someone to go shopping for them. So like, do you have any like suggestions for those kind of people that maybe don't have someone, or ways other people can help out?
Um, I don't know. It's kind of a tough situation if they don't really have anyone else to go for them. I mean, the employees, we help as best we can, obviously, but we can only do so much for them.
So is there like, do you have like concerns for these people? Like, do you feel bad for them having to shop by themselves, or feel bad for any of these people coming into your store?
Yeah, I definitely feel bad for some old people coming in to shop because I know they might have to shop by themselves, but as long as they're taking as many precautions as they can, I think they should be
Do they
fine.
do they seem concerned as well?
Usually they don't seem too concerned, which I think they should be because they're more vulnerable than other people to it.
Can you maybe describe an instance of like some really concerned customers you've had? Like, how do they interact with other people or employees at the store when they're really, really anxious or maybe even paranoid about the disease?
Um, well, before we had masks mandatory to wear for employees, we had a few employees that weren't wearing masks, and some customer was pretty much yelling at our manager about how we should all be wearing masks, which I was wearing a mask, but some people aren't for that because wearing it for like 9 hours a day can be pretty difficult because it's hard to breathe under those for that long. But after that, we got mandatory masks.
Are some of the employees upset with the mandatory masks?
Yeah, I had one of my coworkers uh, showed up and then they handed him a mask and he just left because he didn't want to wear it. But uh, there's a few people that aren't happy about it, but are still wearing a mask and still working, which is good.
How has maybe their behaviors or attitudes changed personally to you? Like, how have your interactions with them been as from before the pandemic to now that you all have to wear masks and be worried about the sickness and social distancing and all that?
Um, I feel like our interactions are still kind of the same. We all work like the same shifts. It's like the same people working every day. So we're all pretty tired. And
Has morale been low lately amongst all of you?
we try to keep it as exciting as possible, but it, it can be difficult sometimes. But we try to make it bearable.
So with like keeping your distance, is there like less camaraderie now amongst the coworkers?
No, I still think that I still think we definitely have a lot of camaraderie, but uh, sometimes like when we're breaking down or stuff, we have to stay 6 feet apart, and uh, it can be a little weird just because like I don't know, you want to talk to someone when you've been working that long. It's near the end of the day, but you can't.
Does that make work harder at all?
Um, yeah, it can make work a little bit harder, but it's still bearable. I can still talk to them, but they're just a little far away.
Gotcha. And
What ab-
oh yeah, go ahead.
what about your home life? How's that been affected since the shift? And now that you have to take extra precautions with interacting all these people on a daily basis?
Um, well, when I get home, I always try to like clean as much as I can. So like I'll wash my hands. I'll wash my work clothes pretty much almost every day that I get back from work. And I'll also just then go take a shower right after that while it's washing, just to try to get anything off that I can, so that I don't bring anything home.
How
How
have your family interactions been?
Uh, they've been pretty much the same for the most part. I live with just my mom, so it's not nothing's really changed.
is she ever concerned for you at work? Or are you continuing to work?
Uh, she is concerned, but she knows that I try to be as clean and safe as possible because I don't want her getting it, obviously, and she knows that. So
I think that's all the questions that I have. Do you have anything to add, Cooper?
No, is there anything else you'd like to share with us that we didn't ask about?
no, I think you got it covered pretty good.
All right.
Last thing I would say, I do think I forgot to say at the beginning, if you could just read over the informed consent thing that I emailed you earlier and
Yeah,
then just sign that, send it back to us whenever you get a chance. That'd be
yeah,
great.
I'll do that by the end of today for sure.
Perfect. Then thank you so much for speaking with us. This has been great. Lots of good information. And yeah,
Thank you.
All right. See you, I guess.
yep. Bye. Thanks for talking.